recent results is for the organization which is in financial sector to understand the workflow that they're going through doing a value stream mapping, understand the steps that they are taking, understand what could go wrong at every step, and what are the things that potentially could go wrong, and what's the impact of those, if you like, steps that go wrong, if you like, capture the unintended consequences, or in actual fact was the design, the way the system was designed in this case. These are the delays that the system had built in and was designed to create. And having do that transparently, visually, in an open workspace, and have the leaders to come and have a review of it on a daily basis. So we were working with a team, sort of mapping that out, and day to day that the leaders will come towards the end of the day, have a look, see, and say, oh yeah, oh I see, we can see the red growing. And I think one of them said, I can see the sea of red growing over here. And then putting on top of that, then helping the team to put the measures on to say, okay, how many things have we started? How many things have we finished over the period of a year or 2 years? And that was another eye-opener to show the leadership and also the team themselves to say, wow, we've started so many things and so few things come out. That is something of concern. And then the product manager for the team, you know, when he was going through the details with the team, having a look, and then he was saying, one of his quotes was, wow, this is not what I prioritize. How come we, you know, how did we get here? Why are we working on these things? Again, that alignment and misalignment, if you like, between what we think is happening and what's actually happening. So those are all the things. And then redesigning the system. So, okay, well, if you're not happy with this thing, what is the other way of doing this? So how can we eliminate some of these delays? How can we act on it? You know, visualizing that system of work as a Kanban system, providing WIP limits or putting a WIP limit constraint in there to say, well, look, we know that we've started hundreds of items and we've only finished less than a handful in 2 years. So that's not how we want to work. So visualize the steps as a Kanban system, and then put a work in progress limit and adhere to it. The other thing we also looked at is, okay, one of the other things that we discovered, and these solutions are specific to a condition. So it's not like this is going to be your cookie cutter and you can apply it everywhere else. But what we found in that particular situation was we were starting work because there was this rush to get started, because the thinking was the sooner we start, the sooner we finish. And the more we start, the more we finish. But we found that there were lots of things that we were starting, but like 2 steps in or an hour in, we're getting stuck. Oh, I don't know that. I haven't got the question, you know, this, that, the other. And these were things that were foreseeable. It wasn't, we weren't asking people to have a crystal ball and second guess what could happen. So we came up with, okay, for every step of this workflow, if you like, what are the checklist, if you like, checkpoints that we can tick off to say, have we got this? Have we got this? Have we got that? And again, it's not about making that the intelligence wasn't in the checklist, it was in the people working in the system, because they could pick up a work and say, well, these 4 don't apply, but this one does apply. We need the answer to this, and then get on with it. So the combination of putting work in progress limits and having these checklists which says, when is this thing, when do we know enough to be able to go to the next step, rather than just keep starting and getting blocked every 10 seconds. And then on top of that, putting a problem-solving method in place to say, when we get stuck, because that's one of the other reasons that we asked the leadership to come in towards the end of the day, and also have a block of time first thing during the day free. So if the team was blocked and that was beyond the team's capability to resolve, the leadership team was there to act on it, to say, hey, look, we need a problem-solving method. Because again, organizations, when they hit the problem, the simple answer is, okay, let's mark it as I've got a problem here, I've blocked, or I drop an email to someone, and let's go start the next piece of work. Guess what? We just started more work. We're not finishing anything. So we just keep getting blocked, add more to it. So that sort of problem-solving method also put the attention and the focus on, because we had a work in progress limit, which said, well, I cannot start another one anyway. So I'm stuck in here. And I've told my leadership team, hey, this is beyond my control. I need you to resolve this thing. So if you like, we had a report card for the leaders coming in every day, having a look. Why can you not start the other? Well, we got that thing that you need to act on. Yeah, we can start something else. But that, when we looked at the results just 2 days ago, which says we've got hundreds of things started, only 2 things finished. Do you want us to go back to that? Oh, no. Okay, let's fix this thing then. So those kind of conversations, visualizations, and acting on the system all the time led to significant improvements. And around 6 months, just under 6 months, it took about 2.5 to 3 months to see the needle moving, because things were actually slowing down a bit. And I remember one key meeting where we were with the leaders up there, the leadership team up there, said, well, not sure whether this system will work. Is working. At least previously, we had lots of things going into the system. The team were busy and they were, doing stuff. Right now, there's only, I don't know, they're only working on 2 stories and they're blocked. And, 3 months in, we're not seeing anything. And then I remember being in that meeting and saying, well, actually, these are the things that we've raised as, things that the team is blocked. You've acted on them, these 2 or these 3, and this one you haven't acted on. That's what we need to unblock. And if you unblock that, you can see that the team will start sort of, if you like, to deliver the outcomes. And then about 4 weeks after that, they could see early signs that, yes, now they unblock the pipe, if you like. In other words, things that were getting in the way are now removed. The team is starting to deliver stuff. And within 6 months, they had enough evidence to say, actually, this way of working is much, much better than what we wanted to do. And other parts of the organization wanted the same thing. So what did that result to? Time to complete work was over 50% quicker. Quality improved significantly. Before previous releases, they would have problems in it, whereas the new ways of working, because again, one of the other things that we changed, and I forgot to mention, it was that before everybody had their blinkers on to say, I'm a developer, I've developed. I'm a tester, I've tested. I'm an environment person, I've done my bit. We changed all of that to say none of your bits, although they're all necessary, but none of them are sufficient. You need to work together. And the goal is to get this piece of work right over the line so the customer can see. And that change of thinking and focus also led to everybody, if you like, building quality in, checking it, developers working with the testers, test specialists, yes, they would know what the tests to do. And some of them had the ability to automate it. Some of them were working with the developers to write the automation test. All of those things improved the flow, if you like, of valuable work through the system. As I said, time reduced by over 50%. Actually, I think it's 60 plus. And then the development cost well down by about 50% or so. And what do we mean by development cost? This was measured by their finance team. And development cost doesn't mean that we got rid of people. What it meant, for the same duration of time, we were working on more features that customers wanted. So that's how we measured the development, or how they measured the development cost. Quality improved. Employee happiness, fantastic. Although it wasn't happiness that we measured what is the stress that is caused due to system of work, the system design. And that was done through some survey and if you like, the instrument was a survey and way of analyzing that survey. At the beginning of it, the results were that the teams are working in a highly stressed environment that has got cause for concern. And by the end of the 6 months, when we repeated this survey, obviously 2 or 3 times in between, it was low levels of stress and no cause for concern. So that's a result that we've achieved for a big financial institution.